Andre Drummond is not the most wonderful signing, prettiest signing, after what we see with LaMarcus Aldridge. One thing that the Los Angeles Lakers are doing, they're building a team to beat the Nets. This is a cold war of sorts. The Nets are loading up salvos. They're getting all the missiles together to head to the finals. Well, the Lakers are slowly rebuilding their arsenal from winning the NBA championship. What the Lakers are doing, they're building a team that could not just compete with the Brooklyn Nets, but do something that the Nets won't be able to fare well in. That's mucking up the game. How do you beat a team has more superior talent than you? You muck up the game. You make it a physical game. You make it a game where it comes down to basically rebounding. You saw that in the NBA Finals this past year. The Lakers hit so many threes, it was all essentially off of offensive rebounds. What does Andre Drummond bring you? Defensive rebounding, offensive rebounding, rim protection, physicality. That's what the Lakers are going. So they're going completely opposite of the Brooklyn Nets, who are strictly skill, off the dribble, fadeaways, threes. They're going to hard-nosed basketball, fast break, rebounding, defensive rebound, offensive rebound, putbacks. That's their whole game. That's going to be their bread and butter. While somebody might feel like, hey, that's not going to work against KD, Harden, LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin. I mean, damn, how many more people we got to talk about? But stuff like that does work, because what that does is that frustrates the guys who are normally open to playing free and clear of any kind of restrictions. That slows them down. That's what happened to the Golden State Warriors when they went up 3-1. Aside from Steph Curry being injured, we all gotta mention that. People don't want to mention that, but what the Cavaliers were able to do with the assistance of the referees, because I think they won a longer series due to how much money they were gonna lose. The Cavaliers lost in 5. They wanted to basically play basketball, football, muck up the game, make it a tough game so Steph can't get all of that. It's not about being pretty anymore. When the game's no longer pretty, certain guys shine. Like Andre Drummond will shine in a situation like that. Montrezl Harrell, he shines in situations like that. Now, a side note, because we all know LaMarcus Aldridge signed with the Brooklyn Nets, and people are saying, well, this is not the first time we've seen stacked teams. We've seen them in the 80s with the Lakers and the Celtics. But here's one thing. The Lakers era and the Celtics era, there weren't as many teams. They were built by the GMs. It wasn't the players necessarily taking the reins. Then another thing you got to think about this. Some guys don't mention, well, Bill Walton played for the Celtics. He was a 6th man off the bench. Bill Walton, when he played for the Celtics, he wasn't the same Bill Walton from the 77 championship in Portland. He wasn't the same Bill Walton. Guys like Jamal Wilkes, McAdoo, they were great players and they were like star players on their team, but they didn't have the same expectation to win titles like a LaMarcus Aldridge, like a Blake Griffin. So, it wasn't as many teams, so the talent wasn't as dispersed. So you're looking at talent that's dispersed through 30 teams, and for one team to have 5 All-Stars that could potentially go play in 5 other teams, it's lopsided. Of course, the trade with James Harden, but when 2 of the guys signed because of personal reasons, I'm not going to go there. You can watch my last video. It's a little different from what we saw in the 80s and stuff like that. It's a little different. I understand that we've seen stacked teams before, but not like this. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. Back to Andre Drummond. He's going to be a great addition for the Lakers. Take minutes off of Anthony Davis at the center position. Take minutes off of Montrezl Harrell power forward position. I mean, the Lakers, basically what they want to do is play big, play often, rebound, and run. And that's all they want to do, muck up the game. And they're going to, what's going to happen is teams where we're used to seeing them come off screens and guys are cooking, they're going to muck up the game so bad that we're going to see some Detroit Pistons basketball. We're going to see some 80s basketball being played. And when I mean 80s, I'm talking about Detroit Pistons basketball, because the Lakers want to muck up the game. You can't out-dribble KD, out-dribble Kyrie. You can't, fade away jumper LaMarcus Aldridge. But you can muck up the game and make it where they don't get to their spot. They can't get all the way to the cup because there's a big there. They can't come off screens as easily because, guys are switching. You're looking at Anthony Davis who could guard. You're looking at LeBron James who could guard. Andre Drummond can't really guard smalls, but what he could do in the mid-range defense and at the rim, that's huge within itself. So the Lakers is just basically going the opposite of what everybody else. Everybody has high-powered offense. The Lakers want to go high-powered defense. We'll see if it works. If they repeat, then we know it works. And if they repeat, this will be one of the toughest challenges to repeat again. Hoops Junction, Hoops Me Super. Like, comment, subscribe.